the Glen Armentor Law Corporation.
Tonight on Blue Mondays, we sit down with Jay Castille running for City Parish Council District number 2. Then we get to preview the new ads the Democratic Party's running against Bobby Jindal. And back by popular demand, we are going to bring you Foster Campbell's speech at the JJ dinner. All this and more on Blue Mondays for August 20th, 2007.
My name is Jay Castille. I'm running for City Parish Council District 2. I'm 45 years old, retired firefighter, and I'm in construction and a developer. And it's strictly on the north side of town where I do all my work.
Outstanding.
I have 3 kids, 3 grandkids, 2 boys and a girl, and 3 grandsons. Love them to death. It's north of I-10. It's west of University, and it takes in the northern part of Carencro, all the way to St. Landry line, and the St. Martin line, and I think the Katy Parish line. It's a pretty good sized district. The most of the northern part of I-10 is the district. Well, as a retired firefighter, I worked there for 20 years, and I've been involved in government and the whole process, the budget process and everything, and it was never geared around helping the people. The actual citizens who pay the taxes. And as an ex-employee, I know they haven't been taking care of the people. And that was one of the major reasons I got in the race, was because of that. You know, it's time this government gets back to basics. They need to go back, dig the ditches, clean ditches like you're supposed to. Fire and police protection is at an all-time low right now. Makes no sense whatsoever a city this size to have a police department and a fire department in the shape it's in. I mean, that's appalling. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. All 9 council members ought to be ashamed of themselves, and administration. You know, when this last administration ran, he ran on the platform of status quo must go. Well, status quo didn't go far because it's still here. You know, it's time for a big change, and that's my big push, is a change. We need to change and get back to basics, get the government back to the people, you know, fix their roads. I mean, the roads we have now, we just have them. They're here. We got to deal with them. But we need to fix the ones that we have. You know, don't just say, oh, we're out of money, we broke. Everybody's getting tired of hearing that same old I'm broke thing. It's time to fess up and do what's right. Take care of the people. That's the whole thing. Well, the relationship between the firefighters and the current council is very strained. Some of the council members took some issues personal, and they shouldn't have. They should have stayed professional with it. And that's one of the main faults of this council and this administration. The firefighters are a great group of guys. Those guys will do anything for anybody, anytime. I mean, the treatment that they've been getting the past couple or 3 years, it doesn't make any sense. Everybody's getting raises. You cut their pay. They're 40 guys short right now, and they just lost 15 more. Now, it's at a dangerous level right now. We're closing stations. They're shutting trucks down. You know, they're not telling you it on TV, but I'm gonna tell you that's what's happening. You know, I know what's happening, and it's a shame for guys that risk their lives every day. Medical calls, rescue calls, fire calls, you name it, they're called. Every time an emergency is in Lafayette, 911 calls the fire department. They're first one out. So, and it's a shame that they treat it that way. I mean, that's a highly respected profession, and the politicians ought to treat them that way. You know, and that's one of the first things when I get in there, I want to settle that lawsuit that's been hanging over the city's heads. There's 2 of them that they filed, police and fire. I mean, that's ridiculous to have that kind of lawsuit hanging over the city's head for that long, knowing they're wrong, went to the Supreme Court, came back, and they still don't want to pay. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They say it's going to be a burden on the taxpayers. Well, it was the taxpayers' money they were stealing from the first place. You know, you took the money, give it back. Somewhere. what you do with it. I mean, you budget it. If it's in the budget, where is it? And those are things I'm gonna hit them with. I want to know where the money's at, where it's going, what's happening with it. Joey Durrell wants to run like a business. He talks about running like a business. You can't run government like a business. You can run it business-like. Customer friendly, take care of your people. Running it as a business, in a sense, there's a lot of laws involved. There's a lot of different departments that, everything, it's not all black and white, on paper. This is how it has to be. It's all different. So it's hard to run it like a business, but it's very easy to run it business-like. I mean, if you're going in to pull a permit for you because you want to build your home, it shouldn't take you 6 months to get your permit and get all this stuff on the way. I mean, it's not business friendly anymore. It should be. That's what they're paying taxes for. Right. That's business friendly. Go in there, sit them down. I mean, we just changed from these hurricanes. We got all kind of.
That's okay.
Have all kind of new things coming out, codes and that kind of stuff. People don't understand this kind of stuff, but yet no one wants to explain it to them. Right. We need to be business friendly. We need to tell our people, look, explain to them why this is taking place.
The service.
The service side of it. Take care of them. Don't just give them a piece of paper and tell them, okay, you read this, come back in a week, we'll give you a permit if everything's fine. Right. Come on, man. It's not right. And when you call, different departments, public works, same way, they'll connect you to 5 different guys and you get 5 different stories. You can't get a straight answer from anyone. And the problem is nobody's holding their feet to the fire. That 9 council members sitting up there, and every Joe is shooting for himself. It's time that these 9 council members get together, turn it back on the administration and direction and say, hey, it's time to take care of business. I represent the people. I don't represent you. Let's take care of business. Let's take care of them. Do what's right. As far as for the roads, we know at one time the population was growing big time on the south side. And I understand that, you need roads and that kind of stuff, but you can't forget there's another part of the parish. Just because you're growing heavily on one side doesn't mean the other side doesn't need the same thing. And what's happening now is the north side is starting to flourish. We're starting to develop more land. We got more commercial businesses coming in, and we didn't build the roads that we should have been building all this time. When you focus too much on one side of town and don't balance it on the other side, you get yourself in trouble. And that's what happened on the south side from the beginning. And on the north side, I belong to a couple of groups that we're trying to plan, control growth and get everything done right. And we've been shorted some money on our roads. And I'm hoping that through negotiations we can get that money back. Because mid-year, I don't know if you watched the council meetings, but mid-year, they always take all the little monies that is passed out to every council member, take it all back, and they put in 2 or 3 big projects. Right. That's not how you do it. That's not the right way to do it. If you're going to fund a project, you fund it and you see it through. Don't go halfway through. So we have enough money, so we're going to take the money from here. We're going to put it here. If you don't have enough money for this project, don't put it in this project at all. Put it where it's going to get done. Complete the project, move to the next one. And just be fair with it. Just, share the wealth. North, south, east, west. That's how it has to be. It's very simple. Government's real simple. They just make it very difficult. Exactly. It's a big trust issue right now. The government has lost the trust of the people. I mean, you can talk to anyone on the street. You mention politicians, government, man, they'll turn red and they'll get mad. But what happens is when you don't take care of these projects, you lose their trust, and you turn around trying to pass a tax to help them get better roads and more roads. But they're not going to vote for it because they didn't forget what you did. You moved the money out of my neighborhood to put in this neighborhood. Why? No reason. Then you can't tell me you want a 1 cent sales tax and say, well, I can't tell you where we're going to put it. We're just going to spend it on the roads. No. You got a project? Tell me the project. I'll give you the money. As a taxpayer, I will give you my share if you tell me where you're spending it. And that's what the people want. They want to know where their money is going. Accountability. And this government has no accountability whatsoever right now. None.
Absolutely.
No credibility, no trust.
Absolutely.
Right. It should be accountable to someone. And being an elected body as the council, they're the ultimate authority. So every commission that they form, they should know what's happening in the commission. If you got 10 of them, you should know what all 10 are doing. The airport commission was a debacle. It was ridiculous. That's wasted tax dollars there. That's ridiculous. Now there's some good people on that commission, real good people, but I believe their spending habits, with nobody watching them, it was real easy just to do those things. But you have to have a watchdog. And the group that actually stepped in, I'm glad they stepped in because they brought a lot of things to light it's going on all over Lafayette. Things like that are happening every day. And our government needs to be responsible enough to get back to basics and check these committees, see what they're doing, make sure they're doing the right thing, spending the money in the right places. We have auditors, we have lawyers, all on retainer. Why aren't these guys doing their jobs? Because nobody's accountable. Nobody's being held accountable. And I'm one for accountability. I run a pretty tight business over here. I run a construction company and a development company. And it's a tight ship. But now it's so tight that when people call and talk to Jay Castille, they know this guy runs a tight ship, and if you want to work for him, you better do this, this, and this. And that's how government should be, because you're working for the people. The people are paying your salary. You're working for the people. Take care of the people. Simple, simple, simple. Well, I think term limits is good and bad. I think it's good for Lafayette right now because it takes out all the old, cleans it out. We start with fresh, new ideas. And that's what we need. We're growing. We're really moving, and we need some new people, key people. That's one good thing about term limits. The other bad thing about term limits is if you have a good council and they've been there for 12 years and they're really producing, they have to go. So there's a good and bad, but right now for Lafayette, term limits, it's a good idea to clean house. It's time. Use the big broom, get rid of them. Well, I got really 4 major areas that I really want to focus on. Fire and police is number 1. So without fire and police, it's total chaos in this parish. So that should be number 1 on all 9 council members' mind, and especially on mine. Public works for roads and drainage, and then planning, zoning, and codes. That's another area that's getting real big with all the new rules. We need to get somebody in there who's been in the loop. I'm in that loop. I know what's going on, and we need some fresh ideas. Streamline these departments, get everything back on track, customer friendly. Those are my 4 areas that I really, really want to focus on.
So if people are interested in you and would like to help your campaign, how's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can reach me on my website, jcastilleddistrict2.com, or they can call me. I have a cell phone, 278-4089, office phone, 886-7378, home phone, 232-6125. I'm getting it all out. I'm accessible. I'm available. Call me. I'll be glad to help you. I'll answer any question you have. If I can answer, I'll get you an answer. October 20th, vote. Go out and vote. If you don't vote for me, still go out and vote. We have to vote. That's the only way to get this thing turned around. With 50% turnout, it's not good enough. We need to change Lafayette. We need 100% turnout. We need to do our best. We need to get out there and do it.
Hi, I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now!, your daily grassroots, global, unembedded, independent, international news hour. Watch Democracy Now! Here on AOC Channel 19 in Lafayette, weekdays at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Tune in.
You've been there for us. Let us be there for you. The hurricanes have affected everyone. If you are a rescue worker who needs someone to talk to, trained in caring help is waiting. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is take care of yourself.
think people increasingly, again, see parties pretty much owned and controlled by the same interests, and they don't see the politics that's connected to them. And I think we've got to do that. I believe in public life.
Our cause is now gaining resonance around the country, if not the world, because more and more people are coming to see that the misrepresentations of the sorriest presidential administration in my time is now crumbling before us.
You know, so we have to call our leadership and our elected officials to represent true democratic values, and that's why I joined the Progressive Democrats of America.
I think that's the fundamental question for 2006 and 2008. Do we continue to concede at the erosion of government as we see it today, or do we see a retrenchment beginning at the local level, at the state level, to the federal level, of candidates that run under the belief that we can make a difference and make government work again to make our lives, our daily lives, better?
PDA means two things. It obviously means Progressive Democrats of America. It now means people demand accountability. We need to work together so that we're not crossing over the same lines over and over again. It is time for change. And so now we've come together, black and white, Latino, Asian, we've come together because people demand accountability.
Long live PDA. Right on, you guys. Keep it going.
It's an exciting time. It's a great time. It's a challenging time to be engaged. And ultimately, it's a rewarding time, because what you'll find in this debate, and when you get engaged in it, that the more you get engaged and the more progressives you find, you'll find some of the best people.
Okay. I do know what I'm doing. Do you know what you're doing?
We know pretty much most of it.
When it rains, all my friends go away. God doesn't like me anymore. Santa won't know where to find me. You can drown in your bed if you fall asleep.
I crown you governor.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
I'm crowning Bobby Jindal governor of Louisiana.
But we haven't even voted yet.
Look, everyone knows Bobby's going to win.
But everyone doesn't know that Bobby proposed limiting Medicaid patients to only 5 prescriptions per month, voted against lowering the cost of prescription drugs, supported raising the Medicare eligibility age, and failed to support our troops and veterans by voting against fully funding TRICARE, the Veterans Health Care Program.
Bobby, let me hold on to this for right now.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words tonight. It's not often I say a few words, but I'm going to try to do that tonight. Senator Edwards, you're a very popular man in Louisiana. You got a lot of friends, but do not let your wife come down here, because she can beat you here. I saw her on CNN last night. I watched the whole show. Did anybody see the CNN part with his wife last night? She's a true champion. And she's going to get you a lot of votes in Louisiana. Thanks for having me here. I'm Foster Campbell. I've been a politician all my life, and I'm proud of it. I'm not one who dodges from words. I'm not a politician who dodges from a lot of things, as you know. some people might think I'm a little bit controversial, just a little bit. I got elected to the Senate when I was 28 years old. I was a math teacher. I served 27 years in the Senate, taking up for people. I led the Senate in taking up for consumer rights. When I came to the legislature, kids were making 3 D's and 2 F's and playing ball in Louisiana at Bossier High School and Lastruma High School. 3 D's and 2 F's. And we passed a bill to make them make better grades. Didn't cost a dime, but it helped education in Louisiana. When Mike Foster was governor, I didn't have many Democratic friends. Me and Jim Cox, Don Cravens, a few of us, Cleo Fields. It was pretty slim in the Senate over there. We tried to have a little help. We got beat lots of times, 32-4, 36-4. But I didn't drop you Democrats. I've been a Democrat. I have never voted for a Republican president in my life. I didn't get any, I have not been in any bushes, none of them. I have not ever voted for a Republican governor in my life. And I don't plan to. I've led the way in the Senate on consumer issues. I took on payday loan companies, pawn shops. I took on the telephone companies when I passed the do not call bill for that you all love, where people came, where are you at home? Credit cards and the railroads. I took on the railroads when we need railroad safety in Louisiana. Couldn't get much help, but we've killed more people on railroad accidents in Louisiana than any place in America. And I wanted to put them under the Public Service Commission for rate regulations. Railroads are monopolies. Not everybody can get in the railroad business. And we ought to have somebody, and when I'm governor, I'm putting them under the governor's office for some real close scrutiny. But tonight I didn't come here to tell you about everything I've done, and I've been able to do a lot, and I appreciate it. One thing I was real proud of, Mike Foster was governor. You'd appreciate this. It's okay to be a trial lawyer here tonight. You got a lot of friends. Well, we had a governor who said, oh, no, we don't want to sue the tobacco companies. They didn't do, and nobody makes you smoke. But let me tell you something. We got a great charity hospital system, university hospital system in Louisiana. And we've taken care of lots of people with cancer of the lung, emphysema, all kinds of dreaded diseases. So we sued them, and we collected $4 billion. With Senator Robichaud, Senator Cox, Tommy Casanova, who was a Republican, a good man, who helped Tom Green and everybody in the Senate, we passed the Louisiana Educational Excellence Fund. We took $1 billion from the tobacco settlement, and we put it in the schools where it cannot be, you can't buy one football, one basketball, or one baseball. It's in the classroom where it ought to be. I am going to open up schools in the summertime for the 1st to the 4th grade. It's ridiculous to have air-conditioned schools. Our kids are not doing well. Bring them back and give them the tutorial experience they need. But let me just ask you one more question. What happens if gasoline goes to $4 a gallon? What do we do in Louisiana? Do you holler, uh-oh? Uh-oh, gasoline's $4 a gallon. We have the poorest people living in America here, and it hurts them the worst. Do we have an answer? Besides, uh-oh, gasoline's $4 a gallon. Let me tell you what I want to do. I have a plan. I'm getting rid of all the income taxes, state income taxes on people in Louisiana. All of them. Corporate taxes and personal taxes. And I'm spending $1 billion a year on highways and coastal erosion. Mr. Trial Lawyer, Mr. President, we've got the oil companies who tore up our coast. I want to ask them to rebuild our coast. I think they owe it to the great state of Louisiana. We're also going to have enough money for education and fully fund health care. Now, if anybody here is worried about the oil companies leaving, don't worry about it, because they're making $12,500 net profit per second. And since I've been up here 5 minutes, they've made $31 million. So don't worry about them. Thank you. I want you to vote for me. You'll have a real Democrat in the office, and I'll fight for Democratic values. And when we have a Democrat that is running for president, I'll be out there on the front fighting with you.